Well, it's an out-of-this-world musical celebration for the 50th anniversary of Apollo 11 moon landing.
The Apollo Chamber Players have teamed up with two Native American legends for MoonStrike. Here with a preview of the concert is the show's guest narrator, astronaut John Herrington, and Emmy-winning composer Jerod Tate, also known as Jerod Impichchaachaaha Tate. You both are of Chickasaw descent. And let's talk about how this project came together, John, because it's not every day an astronaut appears on stage in this way.
I never imagined this would be part of what I've done. Well, my late wife, Margot, met Jerod back about 2010, and she had this idea. She was on TV. She did a morning program up in Idaho, and she had this idea of coming together with Jerod composing something, and then I would have a narration part of that with a native story in it. And we talked about this a long time ago, and you and Margot were all about that. Well, fast forward a bunch of years, the Apollo Chamber Players and Matt from the Apollo Chamber Players called Jerod because he'd heard about him and looked on the web and saw your music, listening to music. And you guys, you can take it from there.
Yeah, I'm part of a series of commissions from the Apollo Chamber Players, and they've commissioned 20 American composers, and so I'm on the tail end of the commissions. And so they had asked for native stories, or actually the subject, they wanted the subject matter to be native stories, and it evolved to Matt asking, well, could it be narrative? And I was like, well, yeah, of course. And he's like, well, do you know of any American Indian actors? And I said, you know what? I have a very good friend who is an astronaut, a Chickasaw astronaut, who has done narration before with orchestra. How is that? And of course he about passed out. So that was perfect. So it just all the serendipity was really, really wonderful. And of course I was thinking about Margot. I was just, I can't believe this is happening. Right. So anyway, but it just was really, really great timing. And so I actually committed John to the gig before. So I texted
guess what I did? That's what you're gonna do.
It's like, so you need to be available October 2019 for the premiere of this new work. Is that cool? He's like, yeah, that's fine. So that was fun.
It's really interesting how sort of all the worlds work together, and you all found yourselves in this project together. And I think there's so many different generations that can relate, take something from this. And of course, the music is beautiful, the story behind it, your narration, and self-proclaimed space nerd, I think is what you called yourself, right? And a few others in there too. But, you know, this is something that everybody can really learn from, no matter the age, especially with your narration.
Well, the idea is, you know, give kids something that excites them. You know, get kids, and adults is the same, is what piques their interest. And be able to tell native stories along with the beautiful music that he's composed and they play. And then I can put my words into it and hopefully do a really good job to what you guys have done. Yeah. That kids will go, I didn't realize there's a story about the moon, that the ravens stole the moon and the woodpeckers involved and things like that. So it's just, it's a fabulous thing.
Yeah, and it's just a small cross-section. There's a lot of moon stories, but there are all over the world. I mean, legends really actually drive humanity as far as I'm concerned. So when you tell legends in classical fine arts like this, it does relate to everybody. And so I love that universality of it. But this is only 3 stories that exist. There's tons of them, and they're all really, really fascinating, have their own, you know, contours and everything. So it's a lot of fun to present these.
Very cool, guys. And plus, I just feel like we have so many more questions to get to. You got to come back and see us sometime because you both have fascinating stories. John Herrington, Jerod Tate, thank you so much. We're going to let John now and the Apollo Chamber Players get ready for their special performance here in studio. While they do that, here's the info for the performances. It's right there on your screen. And
you can experience MoonStrike at the Midtown Arts and Theater Center, also known as Match, this Friday night. A special Q&A session will begin at 7 p.m. The group will also perform on Saturday at the University of Houston, Clear Lake.
And now here's John Herrington and the Apollo Chamber Players with a special performance of MoonStrike.
Chukma. Welcome, my friends. Sohochafoet, John Herrington. My name is John Herrington. Chickasaw. I'm a member of the Chickasaw Nation. I, with the help of my string quartet here, I'm about to tell you stories of the moon. Now, what is the moon and where did it come from? How did it get there? Well, like every culture around the world, American Indians have many different tales of the moon. But one thing is certain, the moon is a very valued and coveted being. One day, Woodpecker said to his grandmother, "Let me go and steal the moon." And when the moon people saw him coming, they knew his purpose and began to laugh. "Roll the moon towards the little woodpecker," said one of them. "Let us see what he can do with such a big thing." When the moon reached him, he lifted it with difficulty and staggered with it. And again, the people laughed. "Let him go as far as that ridge, but if he passes over it, we will kill him." They did not know that Woodpecker was very clever. When they reached the top of the ridge, they saw him and the moon at the top of the next hill. And he rolled the moon down the first slope, and its momentum carried it almost to the top of the next slope. Woodpecker flew over the valley and pulled the moon the rest of the way. The people ran after him until they were tired out, and Woodpecker rolled the moon to his home.
Good job.
Like that.
Thank you all so much. We're going to call Matt over. Matt Dietrich, Artistic Director and Founder of the Apollo Chamber Players. Welcome back to the show.
It's great to be here. Thank
so, another self-proclaimed space nerd, right?
I think I'm even more of a fan of space than Jerod, so we have to have a title.
Title
competition
change, for sure. Your childhood dream was to play violin in space.
It was my childhood dream, and I think this is the closest I'm going to get. But I'll tell you, I did a report on the solar system in 5th grade, and at the end of that report, I said I wanted to be the first person to play the violin in space, and my teacher, bless her heart, Miss Keyports, told me to reach for the stars and I can achieve whatever I want to. So
look at this photo, by the way.
Oh, there it is.
It's Space Camp, the whole thing. Talk about, we're tight on time, but talk about what an honor it is to have astronaut John Herrington performing alongside you.
It's been so much fun. I mean, as you can tell, this guy has no sense of humor. But it's just been so fun working with a consummate professional like John and also Jerod and exploring this new music with both of them. So we're very lucky to have him here in Houston.
That's cool. And the music, by the way, composer Jerod Tate did a fantastic job. It's a bit dark, but also playful and light and fun. It's a little bit of everything, so we can't wait to see you guys.
You're stealing things, you're giving it back, the people worry. It's fabulous.
And it's great for all ages, And I think Jerod was talking about the universality of music and these stories. And sometimes we get caught up in our petty differences, but I think music and art can help us bridge that divide and bring us together. So
well said.
Yeah,
Very well said. Thanks to all of you for stopping by. And by the way, we do have a link on our website, Houston Life TV. It has more info about MoonStrike and the Apollo Chamber Players. Just look for the Scene on Houston Life section.
We'll be right back.